Adversary, China, clearly. So the piece that I wrote that you mentioned there said that there's kind of two camps in China. They don't really know which they prefer, but they don't think much of either of them. Unusually, Xi Jinping, the leader here, knows both of them reasonably well. Vice President Biden was his direct counterpart before Xi Jinping became the top leader. He was the vice president. So Barack Obama sent Biden to China several times to spend a lot of time with Xi Jinping. He clearly knows Trump well. The truth is that who you ask matters. If you speak to Chinese whose job is to worry about economic growth, then they can sometimes sound quite tempted by a return to the kind of status quo that allowed American high-tech companies to sell components to, giants like Huawei and made by cooperation with America. So the people who worry about China's GDP numbers, if a return to Joe Biden meant a return to that kind of previous smoother sailing for globalization, they would take that. If you talk to people whose job is to worry about national security, the darker side of the Chinese machine, I have heard people like that say, frankly, 4 more years of Trump would be just great because he's destroying alliances, not just in Asia, but in NATO, around the world. And frankly, if he wants to destroy America for 4 more years, why would China get in the way? The final thing is that America is fundamentally, China is so cynical about America, particularly now, and is so convinced that America is bent on containing China's rise, that America is a sulking, declining hegemon that doesn't want to share the top table. So they're convincing themselves, and certainly telling their public, that ultimately it doesn't really matter who is American president, because America has shown its hand, that America is an arrogant, declining, aging, selfish ex-hegemon that doesn't want to share the top table. And so China's only task is to struggle and fight. And it's almost like a timing issue. If you think you can squeeze a few more years of technology transfers and foreign direct investment out of America, then you might want to buy some time with Biden. If you think it's time to have the fight now, like the real hardliners maybe do, then bring on Trump and let him weaken the West a little bit more.